There are now confirmations that U.S. State Department officials met with an Alberta separatist group. A spokesperson for the Alberta Prosperity Project confirmed he and other activists met with those officials in Washington last month, and that it was meant to take the temperature of how the U.S. administration could respond to a newly separated Alberta. Darrell Bricker, our polling guru from Ipsos, is here to talk about new numbers related to separation. Let's get right into it. First poll numbers on Quebec versus Alberta separation.
So Quebec these days, if you ask people whether or not they'd vote to separate from Canada, it's about 31% in our polling. Pretty consistent with what we're seeing every place else. But the surprise, Ben, is that Alberta is almost the same at 28%. That's the first time I think I've ever said that.
Wow. I didn't know the numbers were that high.
Yeah, there is. There's a pretty concentrated group of people in both countries, slip of the tongue there, but in both places where they would consider it, yeah.
All right, let's look at the types of separatists.
Well, the really committed separatists, interestingly enough, are actually in the province of Alberta. And so more than half of the people who say that they would vote for separatism actually, regardless of the cost, they say we should be going for it. In Quebec, it's a lesser number, and in fact, the harder you make the costs, the quicker it crumbles in Quebec. Alberta's team seems to be, at the moment, a little bit more resilient.
And Darrell, you polled on the reasons for wanting to vote for independence.
Yeah, so we asked two really, I think, important statements here. One of them is it because you feel that your province has been historically mistreated, or you really think the future will be better as a separate country? The romantic image of separatism still clings in the province of Quebec, where people think it would be a better future. In Alberta, it's mostly driven by people feeling real grievance about the way the province has been treated. And
quickly, what are you hearing about voters' thoughts if we have a snap spring election?
Nobody wants one right now.
Okay.
I mean, so there may be some tactical reasons that the Liberals might want to have an election, but the truth is, as we went through in 2021, if you don't go to the people with a really good reason to have an election, they'll punish you very quickly. So it looks to me like the Prime Minister is aware of this and he's being cautious.
Well, Darrell, always nice to have you in studio. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ben.